Bellator Euro Series, and as confusing as this is, Bellator 248 also happened on Saturday. But after Euro Series, but on the same broadcast, it also 248 only consisted of 4 fights. Dude,
Bellator's having problems.
Bellator's confusing, man.
Bellator is having problems.
Well, I'll do a rundown real quick of what happened this past weekend at Bellator. Just to cover our bases and talk about the wide world of MMA. So the main event of Bellator Paris,
They went to Paris.
Dude, this is all messed up. This is all messed up. So Bellator Paris, main card. How many fights was on the main card, Brad?
I would say like 4 or 5, but I think it's not going to be that.
It's not. Can you imagine half of 4? 2 fights? Yeah, 2 fights were on the main card.
What?
It's a 2-fight main card. You have your classic. Yeah, dude. I mean, whatever. Like, listen, dude. You know what? They're trimming the fat. That's what Bellator is doing. These past 3 weeks, we've only cared about the main event and co-main event in the UFC. Scott Coker's like, guess what? You won't have to worry about any other ones.
Anyone else? They're not here. All right, you're gonna
don't worry about them. We got Tim Johnson, Czech Congo in the main event, and we got Saul Rogers and Arby Mezadov in the co-main event.
Who? Arby. You're gonna tell me that you can only provide me with the top 2 fights on the card, and I don't even know who 2 of those people are. You're gonna tell me the bet? All you have to offer me is Chicago.
No, but hold on. So, but like I said, the same night, Bellator also had Bellator 248.
Naturally, yeah.
Where we had Michael Page versus Ross Houston, Bellator debutante. Ross Houston, who is 8-0-1 coming into this fight, at a catch weight of 175 pounds. And
short notice fight, yeah. I was. They're not in a real weight class, so I was just wondering, or maybe from the beginning,
they
like whatever. Sure,
I think it's just
for the hell of it.
I mean, I don't know the backstory to why it's a catch weight. Bellator, like we've said, does their own thing, so it's very possible it was a contracted catch weight.
You just run through all the problems Bellator's having right now.
I mean, hold on. Let me just finish the results at least.
Please finish this card.
So we had Tim Johnson defeated Czech Congo via split decision, which was kind of a heartbreaker for Czech Congo because it was his first fight ever in Paris. Because Paris literally just legalized MMA. Weird thing to do in the middle of a pandemic when no one can. Whatever, Tim Johnson wins via split decision. I didn't see a split decision. I saw a pretty clear-cut decision for Tim Johnson, which is good for him because he avenged a loss. Czech Congo stopped him a little bit ago at I can't remember which Bellator it was, but he got stopped. He got knocked out by Czech Congo. And then, the co-main event was Saul Rogers, and I will say it again. His name is Arby Mezhidov. And then we go to Bellator 248, which again was on the exact same night. Michael Page fought Ross Houston at a catchweight, and he won via unanimous decision. 29-28 on one of those cards, 30-27 on the other two. That fight actually was pretty good. Michael Page has come out and because everyone's like, who's Ross Houston? Venom Page, you should have knocked this guy out. And Venom Page has since said after the fight that the mat was slippery, so he couldn't win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah.
but actually, so not to totally. So I don't you that I take it you did not watch either Bellator event.
No, did
Okay.
not watch.
So, all right. Well, this was extra duty for me, to be clear to the audience. This was just a thing that I did because I have some sort of to be diagnosed issue. I watched it, and Michael Page fought a good fight against Ross Houston. He actually showed some wrestling, which I've never seen before out of Page, and some really slick groundwork. His top control was awesome, and he always seemed to be a step ahead on the floor. So I honestly came away from the fight thinking like, okay, this is like almost the level of a pump. Because like one thing I don't think Michael Page understands is like if we don't know the name of the guy you're fighting, we at least want the fight to be competitive. Like it's one of those things like cans are not thought of in the same way in MMA as they are in boxing. Boxing cans are an integral part of the sport. You fight cans to get your reps in, to build yourself up and build your record and all that. The culture of MMA, for better or worse, does not view it that way. It views it as no matter how many wins you get, if they're against cans, those wins are almost illegitimate.
They're useless because you beat 30 cans and then your 31st fight is against like a real elite guy, you'll get murked, and it doesn't even matter how many cans you took out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've said it time and time again, just in like the few episodes we've done, is that MMA is about learning. It's about learning new things about the fighters and their skill sets. And if all you're doing is fighting cans, what are we learning? We're learning that you can beat up people that are not as good as you, and we know they're not as good as you from like the opening bell. On paper, the opening bell. I'll say this, man, Ross Houston, he lost via decision, but he did a really great job actually, considering the opposition. His Bellator debut in the main event. Like, dude, like everything was like, hey Ross, sign this contract so you can get knocked out.
Yeah, right.
And,
seriously.
And he did, he won a round on a judge's scorecard. But yeah, man, Bellator is really when you look at the way the UFC has handled business through the pandemic, it's clear that Bellator is just trying to get on TV. Like they're just like the UFC. It seemed like they got this whole thing in motion. I mean, the Apex is a huge key to their success, right? And Bellator obviously doesn't have something like that. So Bellator cards, which are usually, no disrespect to the Bellator fighters, but Bellator cards are kind of thin. And through this pandemic, man, these
it's bad. I mean, like these are some of these problems they're having now were persisting before this all happened, but like in general, it's compounded, made it way worse. I, for one, could not tell you all of the Bellator champions right now. That's like the marquee thing of your organization, right? Is you're selling, ever many champions they got, like 6 champions, right? Couldn't even name you all their champions right now. Their roster is so weak that we're seeing just so many like weird, unnecessary rematches. I feel like we're like Congo and fucking whatever, Tim Johnson. I feel like we're seeing a lot of these weird rematches in Bellator, and I'm like, who asked for this? It's like they don't have anybody else. They're like, let's just throw these guys back together. They're the changing, leaving. I mean, leaving Paramount was important because after Paramount became Paramount from Spike, it was clear they were not in the fight game anymore. But now they've gone to. Are they on DAZN still? DAZN's been a massive disaster, and then
I don't
also
know.
they went to CBS Sports, who doesn't give a damn about them. I don't know how the hell they even watch it. And then they're trying to do these Thursday shows. Who is going to watch your Bellator show on a Thursday? I don't know. I don't know when it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know who's fighting. And apparently, there's only 4 people that fight on the main card anymore. So, what is it
no, 2 though.
to care about these things? Like, there was a time, like 4 or 5 years ago, right? Coker took over. His whole strategy is like, all right, Bjorn, he didn't know what the hell he's doing. I'm going to get all these old, dusty old men in here. I'm going to get the eyeballs, right? That was a terrible strategy, but it was a strategy, and it worked to some degree, right? We got our freak show fights. I would actually tune into Bellator. I knew when they were happening, and there was some level of old man interest there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's gone. They're old men. All those old men are now, like, dead. There are no more ancient old, there's no more, like, Ken Shamrocks to roll out on a cart, or like an old Gracie, to dig up. They can't do that anymore. You got and then they're younger guys, they're younger stars, like your Chandlers and stuff. They're out. They're like, all right, that's enough of this. They're just in a really, really bad way right now.
Well, they're
biggest stars in Bellator. Who are their biggest stars?
Their biggest stars.
It was probably Chandler before, right? Was their biggest home?
No. Well, it depends on
where.
McDonald's
gone. Where McDonald's gone already?
Yeah, it depends on where you're talking about, because next week's card.
They're having another card next week.
Next week's card, actually, we've been talking shit about Bellator for the past 10 minutes.
Who's on it?
And now I'm looking at next week's card, and it's not bad. Like, essentially, compared to what we were just talking about.
Let's hear
Bellator too far.
What day is it on? Let's start there.
It is on October 15th.
Okay.
So it is on Thursday. Okay. It's on Thursday.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Thursday night after work, I can't wait to watch some fights, and I got to get up and go to work Friday morning. Continue.
Okay. I'll start in the prelims. I'll mention the featured prelim, which I don't think they do those, but those are on YouTube. Joe Schilling fights. So again, this is the thing about Bellator. Bellator is different in that they will have Bellator builds fighters in that they'll have a guy with name value fight a guy with who it's like they're there because they are a fighter, not because of who they are. Like Joe Schilling is fighting. Ooh, actually, take that back. He's fighting Curtis Millender. You not know Curtis Millender?
UFC vet?
Yes.
I didn't know he had washed out of the UFC already. I thought Curtis Millender was still in the UFC.
Okay, well, that's a good fight. Sure. That does not belong on the prelims.
Is it an MMA fight, or is that a kickboxing fight?
Nope, it is a mixed martial arts contest.
Okay. Mark with that.
Then we have again, we have Sadawad, which I don't know if you've ever watched Sadawad fight.
I've watched him lose to Ben Henderson recently.
Damn. Well, all right. Well, I guess I won't sell you on the fact that he is good. He is a good fighter. He is good, and he's exciting. He's generally exciting. He fights Ricky Bandejas and Leandro Higa. That's a good fight too. Patricky Ferrer is fighting Jaleel Willis.
Is that lightweight, featherweight champ?
That is lightweight. He is the older brother of the double champ. I believe this is
lightweight and featherweight. Yeah.
I believe Patricky Ferrer is his last bout, or at least the last bout I saw him in, was in the finals of the Risen Lightweight Grand Prix.
So
And
the other
then
brother?
the older brother, the non-champ brother, is
Okay.
Patricki. And then in the main event, we have Chris Cyborg taking on Arlene Biancow.
So let's see. Cyborg went over there and won the belt from who?
Julia Budd.
Julia Budd, and this is her first defense. Yeah.
I believe so. I can double check, but yeah, I mean it's
Man, Cyborg hype just died when she went to Bellator, didn't
well, I mean that's the thing, man. Like the
it? She
as
had like
much
big
as
hype, especially going into that Amanda fight, and then that like over.
yeah, she lost to Amanda, then Felicia Spencer win, Julia Budd win. Yeah, I just think it's a matter of eyeballs, man, for Bellator.
Mainstream, like
It really is. And we were talking earlier about the fact that like how the hell is Bellator supposed to build up their next generation roster when their preliminary cards are primarily filled not by Bellator fighters but local fighters, by fighters who are local to the area, and they are contracted for that fight just to fill out the card. And then in addition, like Jordan Williams, for example, he lost at a Contender Series, and then he picked up a win at no, he won a Contender Series. He tested positive for the marijuana. So it was a no contest. But then he fought at Bellator, had an awesome performance, and Bellator didn't pick him up. So he went back to the Contender Series, and now he's in the UFC. Like, I don't know who's in charge of recruiting young talent, but they're getting killed by the Contender Series, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's going to be a big issue for Bellator moving forward because, like, no disrespect to Jaleel Willis, but Patricky Ferrer should not be fighting a guy without a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the faces of your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Bellator's got problems.